Creative Moments by G. I'm Georgia, and we are so happy that you are here with us tonight. We are so excited about what we're going to do tonight. We are creating a card and also a card holder. So let's go ahead and head down to the crafting table and get started. Okay, now let me show you the stamp sets that we're going to be working with. Look at these stamp sets. We are going to use the leaves from Gorgeous Leaves, and they truly are gorgeous. We are going to use Much Gratitude right here to go across the card in Heartfelt Wishes. And then we're also going to use a big thanks on our card holder. And you know what? Isn't this the time of year where you give thanks and you show your gratitude? You have that attitude of gratitude? Yes, it is. So how wonderful to be able to give a card holder with just a couple cards to surprise someone that you really like. Or maybe you have a team and you need to make some special things for them. Well, let me show you. Here's the card we're going to be making. What do you think about that? So pretty. Let's get started. The first thing you need to do is get your base card out, and I want you to remember all our measurements will be listed over on creativemomentsbygee.com. That is our website. We have our blog. All you have to do is click on the blog, and if you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, while you're there on the front page, go ahead and click that button and subscribe. I love this rich raspberry. I love it. And then, of course, mixed with the pumpkin, right? So we're going to go ahead and we are going to lay down our pumpkin pie cardstock on the front of this card. The next thing we need to do is we want to go ahead and lay our border right here. Now, what I've done is I have worked with some DSP that, oh my gosh, we just absolutely love. Have you seen this DSP? So beautiful. It has that gold overlay on it, and it's called Blackberry Beauty. And then we're also using Expressions in ink. So here we have just a piece, so you don't use much of it, but we're going to go ahead and lay this down right here because this is just going to create a background for us. We'll just kind of center it. And notice how it just goes from the first mat. So we didn't take it back out here to the actual base card. We just kept it right here on this first mat. And we're going to go ahead and lay this right down in the center. Put it right there. And we have some beautiful gold on either side. Now look at that. Isn't that taking shape? That is so very pretty. Now the next thing we want to do is I went ahead and I stamped that Much Gratitude, and I cut out a strip just to put this on top of it. Now we want to go ahead for the presentation to put it on dimensionals. So we're going to go ahead and just put this, the sentiment right here up on dimensionals. And now we're just going to lay this right in the center. And look at that. Don't you just think that font is beautiful? Oh my goodness, I absolutely love it. Now on the card, we want to go ahead and put this up on dimensionals too because our leaves that we cut out, we need to have some place to put them behind this sentiment. So go ahead and grab you 3 more dimensionals. So let's get that right in the center. Now let's look at these leaves that we already punched out. And look what we did to the edge of the Cajun Craze. We went ahead and used our dauber and just went around it. Because you know how the dies leave a white border? Well, I don't like to see that. That's just my personal preference. And so I went ahead with my dauber and I just went around the edges. We'll go ahead and just bring in the card though. And one of the things that we need to do is cut these stems off because they're a little bit too long. So we're just going to cut that off. We're going to take this one and we're simply going to put it right here. Now, the best way for me to lay these down, you can use a runner, a tape runner if you want to, but I like to go ahead and use this Nuvo glue pen. So I just give it a shake And that way it goes exactly where I want it. So I'm just going to slip it behind this sentiment and just glue it down. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm taking the cinnamon cider leaf and I think I'll put it about right there. And then I'll bring in one of these cute little leaves. Now, you can bend these up a little bit, bend them down, rough them up just a little bit so it looks a little more realistic. And we will just slip that in. Okay. Now we need a little bit down here, right? So we still have a couple leaves. This big, beautiful, rich razzleberry. I'm going to put some glue on the back of it. And then we will take this one, put just a little bit of glue down there, bend it just a little bit, and put it right, slip it right under there. And look at the front of that card. It's so nice and so easy because we lifted this up on dimensionals. Now we need to do the inside, of course, and we are going to, before we lay down our paper on the inside, we're going to stamp. And there we have it. And now we can just lay it down on the inside of the card. Wiggle it around. This glue allows you an opportunity to make some movement if you need to, but not for long, right? And so now we have this beautiful fall card. Really makes a terrific presentation. And now let me show you the beautiful card holder we're going to make. You're going to need your trimmer, and you're going to take just a regular size cardstock, and we're going to cut it 8.5, which it's already cut there, to 9.5. So we need to open up our arm, right? I love that about this. Go ahead and put it to 9.5 and make your cut. And now we need to go ahead and score on the long side because we need a score right down the middle. So make sure you move this cutter blade right here out of the way. And we are going to score at 4 3/4 on the long side of the paper. So 4 3/4. And now, so that we can cut our angles, we are simply turning it on the short side, and we are going to score at 2.5. Can you see this? Let's see. Yes, you can see this. We have a long score here. This is for the fold, and this is the part that we're going to fold up to hold the cards. Now, how do we get those angles? Well, the way you get those angles is you cut from this point to this point. So we're going to just put it in our trimmer, and we're going to line this up in the canal. Line it up with this point. Let's see, can you see that? Let's see. Line it up with this point in the canal, and then we're going to cut it. So we have this to this point, hold it very tightly, and go ahead and cut it. And here we have our first angle. Now we're going to turn it over, and we're going to do the same thing. Put the point here and the point here, both of them in the canals, and just line it up right where you need it, and trim it. Now we simply fold it up, and you can crease it with your bone folder, and crease it like this, and there you have your card holder. And now all you have to do is decorate it. But we are going to put some ribbon on this one. So let's look at how we do this. The first thing we're going to do is bring in that beautiful DSP, and we're just going to lay it down right on the front. And next we're going to have this go right in the center, but what we need to do is decorate it first. And so this is how we want to do it. We're just going to put a little bit of removable tape right there, just so I can hold it in place on the graph paper. Line it up where it's straight. And then we're bringing in a mask. Because what we want is we want to stamp some leaves here at the top and at the bottom, and we want an empty space right here. So once again, just a little bit of that removable tape, and then just eyeball it and center it. And there we have it. So this is going to mask off that area. And now we're going to bring in our leaves, and we have this one, and we're going to use pumpkin pie. We're going to go ahead and open them. We're going to use cinnamon cider, rich raspberry, and pumpkin pie. So first we'll go with our pumpkin pie. We're just going to make sure that you stay on this mask right here because you don't want it to come out. And now we're going to bring in this little guy. He's also in the stamp set. We're going to do cinnamon cider. Straight down. Oh my goodness, so pretty. Oh, let's see. Oh, there we go. Another pumpkin pie on the other side. And now we are just simply going to peel off this mask, and we have an area that is left right here so that we can put this big thank you. Look how big that thanks is. That is huge, and we're going to use rich raspberry. And look at that. On our card holder, we have this right here, but what we need to do is take our edging that we want to do, because we want this to mimic the card, right? So we need to go ahead and just tip it off right there. So what we're going to do is just put a little bit of glue right there, and I'm going to use a tape runner, put it along the top, and then I'm just simply going to flip it over and line it up right where I want it. And we're just going to cut that off. So now we have that beautiful gold border. We're going to do the same thing to the bottom. And what you can do when you're cutting this off, if you kind of slant your scissors, it kind of goes behind it, so you don't have to worry about there being an edge on it. And so now we have this area, but we still need to put our beautiful ribbon. And what you need to do is you need to decide exactly where it's going to go. So we decided, we picked the center of our card already. And because this ribbon is so thin, you can't really use glue on it because it just comes right through the ribbon. And so we are using the runner. So we need to decide if this is basically in the center, and it really is. We want it to go right through the center of thanks. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put a little bit right here, just a little bit, so that we can get it stuck. Bring it over, and then pick this up. And go ahead and use our ruler to make sure that we get it straight, and just run your tape right along that. And now, when you put it down, you know that it's going to be straight. Right there. Now, you also have to do it on the back, right? So we are simply going to get it, turn it over. We're going to use our ruler because we want to make sure and get it straight. And now just run it right against the ruler. And you can see it, so you can see exactly where it needs to go. And now you have a straight line. You don't have to worry about it. Look at that. Now we are ready to go ahead and put this right on the top. We're just going to get some glue. And there we have our card holder. Not difficult at all. A very simple one, yet oh my goodness. Let me show you the cards that it holds. So let's say we have cards on this side and on this side. You simply fold it over. You tie a knot and then tie a bow. And look at that. Now you can cut this, just snip it off, and there we have it. What do you think about this card holder? Now I'm going to go ahead and open it up, and I'm going to bring out the cards. Here is our card set. Guys, we just appreciate you so much for sharing your time with us tonight on a Thursday night. We want you to go out and have a fantastic Friday. Make sure that you're kind to yourself and others. Be creative in your crafting, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.